So, in a surprise turn of events, DICE actually just tweeted that first of all, they're confirming the Battlefield 6 open beta, and second of all, it actually turns out they are listening to community feedback around the class system. So, they just put this out here. It says open weapons versus closed weapons. Why not both? Starting at open beta, players can choose official playlists with signature weapons locked to class or not. More to come. So that is a massive win in my book. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about here around the open beta and also around the class system. You know, how are they actually going to do this testing? What does that mean for us? But then also, you know, when are we going to get our hands on the open beta? There's been several leaks here and there that I want to cover in the video. So without further ado, if you guys enjoy the content on the channel, get subscribed. Plenty more to come on Battlefield here. And as always, cheers guys for your ongoing support. So what it sounds like is when we get our hands on the open beta, and we'll get into when that's likely to be in a minute, there's going to be two separate playlists here. One of them is going to have closed weapons, and the other one is going to have open weapons. And this is actually quite interesting because I've seen several people already suggest this on various places online, Reddit, Twitter, and etc., to do exactly this, like a test of both of them, maybe in Battlefield Labs. I just don't think any of us expected to get this fully open beta, but thinking about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? Way more players are going to, get the opportunity to play the game. It's not clear yet if this open beta is open to everyone. Is it a pre-order thing? Again, we'll look at that a little bit later in the video. Now, whilst it's really nice to see that DICE is listening to us and they're going to give a locked weapon system for the classes a chance, I do have some slight reservations about this. So what I think they're going to do is basically pull these statistics from how many people queue into each playlist and then let that inform their final decision, or maybe even use it as rationale to enforce whatever they want to do. So for those of you who played not just Battlefield betas or alphas in the past, but also for other games, you'll know that big companies like EA and Activision, they like to put out this big sheet of statistics, and it'll be something like, in the beta test this weekend, you guys killed 10 million vehicles and you died 100 million times, and these were the hotspots on the map that you were playing. This is the objective that most people died on, right? They'll have all of these different statistics that they pull from the beta test, and so you can be sure one of the main ones they're going to be looking at here is how many people are queuing for the open weapon system on the classes and how many people are queuing for the closed one. Hopefully there's going to be some area in game, like a link on a button that allows us to give feedback, so it's not just about how many people queue for them, because I do think it may be a little bit flawed. I think for a lot of people who don't even know anything about Battlefield, they just hear, oh, there's this new game and there's a beta for it, let me jump in. If you read locked weapons on classes, it doesn't sound that inviting, it doesn't sound that good, so chances are you are going to choose this open weapon system, right? Because you want to get your hands on all the weapons and you want to try them out. So, I'm not sure it's going to necessarily be that indicative of what will be better gameplay-wise for the game going into the future. Now, obviously, I don't know what DICE are planning to do with that, but that is my assumption. Nevertheless, though, I think it's nice that they're at least giving a locked weapon system a chance, because I, for one, didn't expect this. I thought they just decided this is the way we're going to do things, and that's how it's going to be. But it seems not. They're actually giving it a chance. So well done, DICE. Really nice to see them listening to the community. And here, in fact, is Kevin Johnson's little bit that he added onto the official Battlefield tweet here. He says, when we said we want to work with the community on things and turn it up a notch, we really did mean it. The ball isn't in any side's hand. It's a shared one and it's passed around. It doesn't hurt to listen, to respond and talk things out if we're able to. Long may that continue. So nice words there from Kevin, sounds great to me. I hope that holds true going into Battlefield's future. So that's going to leave a lot of you wondering, well, Ghost, when is this open beta going to come around? And that is really the big question. So over the weekend, I've been putting out a few videos on various leaks and information that we have that point to the direction of the reveal for Battlefield, which seems like it's going to be towards the end of July on the 29th until the 31st. I'll link that video down below if you're not up to date and you want to catch up. But that's the long and short of it, 29th until the 31st, and then I would have assumed that we would maybe see the open beta actually as early as that weekend, so Friday the 1st of August going through to Sunday the 3rd. It could also be, however, the weekend after that. That would also, be close enough to the reveal, and, that would make sense. However, over on Reddit, and this has apparently been leaked by the 1BF Telegram account, I believe this is a Russian Telegram account, and they've been leaking a bunch of stuff in and around Battlefield. And it says the Battlefield 6 open beta build is scheduled for August 4th, not necessarily the release though. So I think what they mean here is that this build that they're putting out for the open beta is going to be sort of uploaded, if you will, on the 4th of August. That doesn't necessarily mean, I don't think that's the date that we can download it. It doesn't mean that's the date that the beta starts, but it does indicate, if this is true, remember, and this is a leak, so take it with a massive grain of salt, that it could be soon after. So I actually think now, the weekend of the 8th, 9th, and the 10th of August may be when the open beta is going to be. It could also be a week long, so maybe it just drops on the 4th, which is a Monday, and we get like a week-long open beta. And as I say that out loud, I'm actually more inclined to believe that, given the fact that we can see DICE clearly want to gather some data from this beta test, so maybe a little bit of a longer one will actually help them out to that end. Now, they also say that the build is 5 numbers ahead of the latest Battlefield Labs build. Now, that doesn't really tell us much, just because it's 5 sort of iterations ahead of the Battlefield Labs build. I mean, surely it's going to be more polished because it's an open beta, right? They want to make a good impression with this, and the Labs builds, from what we've seen in the leaks, just aren't in that great shape. There's a lot of unfinished textures, there are some glitches and things like that. So I would assume that what they've done is just sort of polished it up for the open beta. Maybe it's just going to be a single map, but gameplay wise, it's probably going to look and play similar to what we've seen out of Labs. Now, one interesting comment I did want to highlight here, and this is from a guy called Daniel UK400, and according to him, he is like the API man, so he's presumably one of the people who looks into the API of the clients and then like leaks stuff out and draws conclusions from it. And he says, yeah, as API man, I want to confirm it and clarify this is build publication date, not actual public beta start. Also, I saw in the API early open beta access, so prepare for pre-orders. Now, like I say, don't read too much into that. This is just a leak, but it does sound like by that little tag there of early that the way they're going to set this up is that they're going to do some sort of a reveal trailer. They will then put up the game for pre-order, and one of the perks of pre-ordering will be that you get early access to the open beta test. So again, that would also corroborate it being a week long, because I think they're going to give everybody access, most likely during the weekend when people have time to play, and judging by past open betas with early access, the early access then will probably start like on a Tuesday or maybe even a Wednesday, and so you get like, 2-3 extra days in there. So I guess that's like sort of fair enough. I mean, of course, EA want to drive pre-orders. They want your money and they want it now. That comes as no surprise. I think the good news, though, hopefully, is going to be that the open beta will be available to everyone. You don't have to pre-order to get your hands on it. You just won't get in quite as early. So, if you're somebody who's still on the fence about the next Battlefield game, you're not sold on it, you want to try before you buy, and that includes pre-ordering, then I would say just wait till like whenever you can actually get in and try it for yourself. So exciting stuff, guys. I'm actually getting pretty hyped for this now. I feel like, things are starting to happen, man. Like, the exciting Battlefield time is here. I'm still trying to keep my expectations in check. I'm trying to keep the hype in check. I'm actually trying to figure out when I should take holidays and stuff like that as well, because I honestly have no idea when this beta is going to drop exactly. But all I know is it sounds like it's going to be pretty darn soon. As always, leave me your thoughts down below. I would be very interested to hear what you guys think about this. What do you think about DICE, listening to us on the class system? What are they going to do with these stats? And when do you personally think the open beta is going to be? Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with everything Battlefield. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all in the next one.